you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to speak in this urgent debate. And let me begin by saying, as Andrew Bailey has made very clear in his statement, that there was an animated discussion, and he has, in which he inappropriately put his hand on the upper arm of an employee. And Andrew Bailey has apologised, and Andrew Bailey has taken full responsibility for his actions, and Andrew Bailey has then subsequently resigned from his ministerial portfolios, which shows personal responsibility for his actions. Now, I've listened to the opposition leader try and find a conspiracy here. All he's been doing for the last 10 minutes is try to find a conspiracy. Well, the reality is, it's not. What this is called is personal responsibility. And Andrew Bailey has taken personal responsibility for his actions. He has apologised to the staff member, and then he has resigned because as he said, the actions which he took place didn't meet his own expectations and his own standards. He has ultimately taken responsibility for his own actions. And that is something which I recognise, and all members of the National Party recognise, and we acknowledge Andrew Bailey for taking that action, for recognising that, and for ultimately resigning from that position because he did not meet his own standards and because of the actions that he took. But ultimately, on this side of the House, it is very clear that whilst Andrew Bailey has did something which was inappropriate, we have standards and we take responsibility for our own actions, and that is why Andrew Bailey subsequently resigned from the positions that he had in his ministerial warrants last Monday. And I just want to acknowledge Andrew Bailey for doing that. The second issue here is the second issue here is in relation to the points that have been made by the opposition leader. And here he is trying to stand up to like some sort of self-righteous individual who's better and more holier than thou. That's what he's trying to do. Well, we all remember the number of ministers under the last government who they held on to for week after week after week, trying to hold on to them. Well, Stuart Nash, Michael Wood being told 17 times from the Cabinet Office, 17 times from the Cabinet Office to sell your shares. And I'll tell you what happened in that instance. Well, when finally the story came out on the 6th of June 2023, media reported on Wood's Auckland Transport shares, he was only stood down from his transport portfolio. He then took 2 days to sell them. He had 18 months or 2 years, and then he sold them in 2 days. But he failed to tell the Prime Minister, oh, well, I've also got some other shares. And then it took 15 days from the day the story broke until Michael Wood resigned from his ministerial portfolios. And as it says here, Hipkins announced Wood's resignation from that portfolio. He resigned, and he did the right thing in that instance. And of course, we'll remember Stuart Nash giving the old police commissioner a phone call every now and then, interfering and sending some cabinet information to his friends. And the weeks that these stories dragged on, and what do we hear from the Prime Minister at the time, Chris Hipkins? Crickets. Again, week after week after week, and nothing happening, because that was the approach under his government, was there was no actual accountability. We come to the instance of Kiri Allen, and we all remember Kiri Allen, don't we? We all remember Kiri Allen. We heard about which she turned up to an event here in Parliament, and despite the fact that she had ministerial responsibilities, decided to criticise RNZ over its approach, interfering with independent journalists at an event here in Parliament around the employment of her then partner and her employment at the broadcaster. That took weeks for that instance to be sorted under that government, and of course there was far more. But in that instance, all she did was apologise, and Hipkins let everything go. Standards now, no standards then. That's what we saw. There's a word which starts with hippo, which I can't use in the House, which we can all talk about. And of course we've got our friend Shannon Halbert, don't we? Shall we talk about our friend Shannon Halbert? Received an email about bullying and harassment. What happened there? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Made some inquiries. Hipkins made some inquiries. No action. No investigation even took place. No personal responsibility. On this side of the House, we take personal responsibility for their actions. And remember what happened with Jenny Anderson and the teenage girl who volunteered for her, complaining to Labor about several instances of bullying over several years. No actions taken by Mr Hipkins. And in fact, in this instance, we saw Hipkins promoted Anderson 8 places and gave her more portfolios. And that was what happened under Hipkins after the election. She was promoted 8 places, given more portfolios, and says he has full confidence in her and expected her to do an excellent job. On this side of the House, we take personal responsibility. On that side of the House, they drag these issues out. They don't take accountability. They don't take responsibility. And for what Andrew Bailey has done, and for the actions which he publicly has put on the record as to what he has done, he has stated very clearly that he did not meet his own expectations of behaviour. He has taken responsibility by resigning. I acknowledge the action that he has done in this instance.
Yeah, I don't understand where personal accountability starts and stops, because it doesn't seem to always seem to be equally applied. Or it's like, oh, I'm being personally responsible, I'm saying it, so I am, but my actions don't meet it.
That's actually the first time I've seen that, and it sounded to me like mention Andrew Bailey, talk about everyone else, and then at the end mention Andrew Bailey again.
Yeah, it's like, look what they're doing wrong, look what they're doing wrong, look what they're doing wrong. But Andrew Bailey did the right thing by resigning.
5 minutes of not talking about the issue that the urgent debate is about.
Yeah.
Or how
Yeah, blame others.
I think he had 10 minutes or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it was about 7, but I mean, we do have it sped up. But yes, I think it was about 7.
Yeah.
It's but no.
Time moves so slowly when he's speaking.
Oh, he can go to a 6-lane monstrosity and what do you call it, back in Pakadanga?
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to our Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, News Scout, the Order Paper Podcast.